gentlemen, thank you so much for watching Smart 24 TV, where we drive your business. And thank you for joining us this morning. You're watching Financial Markets, and this is Smart 24 TV, of course, where we drive your business. My name is Anthony Sebale, and I am your host. And today is a new day, and I hope you're setting new goals. It's a new year. We are, of course, moving ahead quite smoothly in the new year. Today's being the 17th day of the new year. How much have you got done so far? I don't know, but I hope you're making progress. Remember, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with just a single step. So with whatever you're doing, wherever you are, make sure you're making that next move in terms of your investment, in terms of your sources of income, because as you know, this is a show about investing. And if you are to invest, you must be earning some money. You must be making money. You must have a source of income. So I hope you're having those sources of income, bringing in that income, of course, coming your way, and getting a percentage of that and investing it in the financial markets. Of course, this show is proudly brought to you by Altex East Africa. And Altex is a private stock exchange, of course, founded here in Uganda, but originally founded in South Africa as a bigger Altex body. So we do have Altex Clearing and Altex East Africa. So Altex East Africa is a brand for the East African region. And in the Altex East Africa, we are now having the Zabu initiative therein, where they're saying you can be able to buy bonds across East Africa, that is in Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania, and as well as exchange traded funds on these treasury bonds. All you have to do is simply dial *292#, and following the prompts, you can be able to register, you can be able to learn more about the products, but above all, you can be able to buy or sell treasury bonds across East Africa. And this is through your mobile money. You can actually transfer funds off your mobile money, be it MTN or Airtel, onto the Altex East Africa Stock Exchange and be able to buy these treasury bonds. Now, you can get the best interests that are yet to be seen in the land at Altex East Africa on all the 4-year, 5-year, 7-year, 10-year, name it, all the way to 20-year treasury bonds in East Africa. You're in Kenya, you're in Tanzania, you're in Uganda, it does not matter. All you need to do is to dial *292#, and you will be able to buy some of these treasury bonds. Also, those who are willing to sell, you can be able to sell them off. Remember, this is a secondary market platform where we are selling bonds after the primary market. That is the issuance through the Bank of Uganda or the central banks in East Africa. Altex East Africa doing something new. Now, of course, let's get into the daily tradings here. Being a Tuesday, we are getting to focus out on what happened last Monday, that is yesterday, on the first weekday of trading this week, and of course looking ahead of the Tuesday tradings and making our expectations right away from the start of the day. The markets at the Uganda Stock Exchange, you understand, open at exactly 9 a.m. and trading closes at 1 p.m. East African Standard Time. Now, as per yesterday, we had 3 Uganda Securities Exchange listed equities that participated in trading. And fortunately, the day ended with 3 gainers and about 5 losers. Well, a better day compared to Monday as well, rather compared to Friday, because Friday was the day before Monday in terms of trading. And interestingly, guess what? Guess who came on top of the table? Yes, you guessed right. Wumeme. Wumeme came in at the first place. Wumeme gained at 7.14%. Now, this is a company that I prophesied this year will go to as far as 600 shillings. Now, we are halfway, okay? And you're still not buying shares in this company. And I don't know what you are waiting for. You must make a personal initiative here, because you're going to miss out on something really, really big. Wumeme on Monday gained 7.14%, closing the day with a price of 300.00 Ugandan shillings. Now, Wumeme first incorporated in Uganda as a private limited company on May 6th in 2004, and later converting into a public company on the 28th of June 2012. And later on in that year, on the 30th of November 2012, listing on the Uganda Securities Exchange, is one currently of the most active stocks on the Uganda Stock Exchange. Not only the most active, but the quickest gainers that we have seen in the last couple of days and actually weeks. Looking at their stock here, they have currently close to over 487 billion, which is also increasing, by the way, because of their appreciating share price. Their market capitalization is also going up, currently maintaining still their 8th position in terms of the most valuable companies on the Uganda Stock Exchange. The 487 billion shillings we are talking of represents close to 2.32% of the entire Uganda Securities Exchange equities market here. Now, as per yesterday, they traded over 1.43 million shares, and this ended, oh my God, with a gross turnover of over 428 million shillings. I don't know what you're waiting for, because when you are there's a time when, of course, markets were really bad here in Uganda just a few days ago, and getting through last year was a hassle, with many companies coming out as losers on year to date. Wumeme had a different story to tell. Remember, all through 2022 had the biggest turnover in the first quarter, in the second quarter, all the way through the third and fourth quarters. Of course, the reports are yet to be released for the fourth quarter from the Capital Markets Authority. But I can tell you, before even the reports come out, Wumeme still held the biggest turnover on the Uganda Securities Exchange for 2022 fourth quarter, and currently beginning 2023 on a very hyper note, over 428 million shillings in a single day. You want that. You want to be part of this. Trust me. You don't want to miss out on this one. Now the stock price moved by over 20 shillings from 280 Ugandan shillings to the current 300 shillings per share after the trade of these 1.43 million shares on the first weekday of trading on Monday. Now, the shares outstanding currently are still held at 1.62 billion shares that are floating on the exchange and bringing their market capitalization to a value of 487 billion shillings. Now, where is the story of Wumeme beginning? Now, immediately on around the 6th of December, Wumeme released the notice that they will not be renewing their agreement of after the concession period of about 20 years actually comes to expiration in 2025. They will not be renewing that agreement with the bank of with the government of Uganda. Rather, remember took over the infrastructure of distribution of electricity in Uganda from the Uganda Electricity Distribution Limited Company under a concession, under the concession for a period of over 20 years, commencing on the 1st of March 2005. Now, this concession will be expiring on the 30th of March in the year 2025, implying there will be no more Wumeme in Uganda by 2025 on the 30th of March. And that will mean that it will also have to come down off the Uganda Securities Exchange. Now, that came as a public notice in the month of December. And let's get to look at what this notice or what this announcement had, the effects it had on the stock of Wumeme. Now, immediately on the 6th of December, we see that the stock price of Wumeme rose from 210 to over 240 shillings. And subsequently, in the next couple of days, it rose to over 250 shillings, and now up to over 275, and then to 285, and just yesterday to 300 shillings. Well, Wumeme didn't just bump into this. A couple of years ago, Wumeme was at this price. For example, in the year 2021, in the trading around July, the company was actually trading at this particular price, even higher than 300 at certain points. But it has been a long while since we realized this figure on the Wumeme stock board here at the Uganda Securities Exchange. So it's quite a milestone for the shareholders there. Their values going up, especially those who bought. For example, let's get to look back. When you look back to 2022, when you look at the lowest pricing we had, trying to check out here on our graph, when you look at 2022 April, in the month of April, Wumeme had shares as low as 170 shillings and very close to 150, 170 shillings, implying that shareholders who bought shares at this time, around July, around January last year as well, are almost doubling in value. At 300 shillings, their value has doubled. To put it in literal terms, if you had shares worth 1 billion shillings on Wumeme, and this is in around, you bought them in around January or around June, right now, your value is currently over 200 billion. Rather, not 200, rather 2 billion. If you had 1 billion, you have over 2 billion at the moment because your value has doubled. If you had 1 million Ugandan shillings, it has doubled to 2 million. That's how serious the gains are currently at Wumeme Limited. Now, currently, the company's stock is going out of the roof. And looking at their recent performance, the company is registering one-of-a-kind performance on the Uganda Stock Exchange. Wumeme began the year 2023 with a stock price of 275.0 Ugandan shillings. And since then, it has gained over 9.09% on that value, ranking it the first on the Uganda Securities Exchange in terms of year-to-date performance. Now, shareholders can be very highly optimistic of Wumeme because their value over the last 4 weeks has also accrued over 43% on their shareholders' pockets there on the Uganda Securities Exchange, which is also the best in terms of monthly performance. Now, it means literally year-to-date they're coming on top, and then month over month they're coming on top. And then when you look at the trading and market participation, they're coming in the second place, just behind Stanbic Bank. The company within the last quarter or 3 months from the 13th of October to the 13th of January has recorded over 27.5 million shares that are valued at over 6.16 billion Ugandan shillings. We're talking about Wumeme, on average trading over 436,000 shares per trading session. What are you waiting for, my friend? Get to buy some stock in Wumeme. Of course, as the company exists, there seems to be a lot of incentives there for the shareholders because they will have to be rewarded. And sometimes it depends on what is in the agreement, of course, with the different shareholders, other shareholders in the private equity, but also in this public stock. And so that's why shareholders are running to this stock. And there must be a good reason. So you don't want to miss out on this one. Wumeme wasn't the only gainer. Equity Bank as well gained 1.17% with no volumes traded, as well as Centum Investment gaining at over 0.91%. On the losing side, East African Breweries Limited lost most on the day with over 0.47% of value lost to 5,105.56 Ugandan shillings per share, closing the day's trading. He was followed closely by KCB Bank at 0.29% loss as well, and Jubilee Holdings losing over 0.28%, and Kenya Airways at 0.04%. Wumeme recorded the biggest volume with over 1.43 million shares that were traded, followed by Stanbic Bank Uganda at over 214,184 shares, who is a very close competitor with Wumeme. But if Stanbic doesn't pull up its socks, they will probably overtake that position, being the most traded on in the last 3 months. That is as per the trading on the Uganda Stock Exchange. MTN Umeme as well did record some volume of over 17,354 shares that were recorded. Now, regarding the performance of the benchmark index, the USE All Share Index appreciated by 3.64 points, and that was up to 1,223.16 points, representing a 1 week gain of close to 0.65% and a 4 week gain of over 0.02%, yet an overall year-to-date gain of as well 0.87%. All thanks to Umeme as well for the gains on this, the big gains on the All Share Index, which has actually performed so badly for the past 1 year, looking at 2022. But 2023 looks to be a year of good hope, probably if things stay as they are currently. Now, the USE Local Company Index, which tracks the aggregate performance of all the local or domestically listed equities, also increased by 0.45%, up to over 274.14 points, making it a 1 week gain of over 1.15% and a 4 week gain of close to 0.61%. And that's the trading from the Uganda Securities Exchange. Please open yourself an SCD account and get to buy some shares, especially at Umeme. This is a free piece of advice. Umeme is not about to stop gaining, and if you want to be part of this gain, better buy when it's not yet too late. And it's getting too late currently if you look at the figures moving on the Umeme stock there. But remember, to buy shares, you simply have to do one thing: open an account, visit www.use.org.org, and go to Easy Portal. Easy Portal is where you can be able to open that account online and start your journey of investment, of course, via a licensed stock brokerage firm. We just have 5 brokerage firms in Uganda that are licensed by the Capital Markets Authority, and those are listed also on the Capital Markets Authority website. So don't be hoodwinked. Start your journey of investment right now. Now, let's get to cross over to Kenya right away. We don't have much time. Nairobi Securities Exchange, on their first day of trading, continue to underperform, currently losing over 1.3 points on their All Share Index. That is the Nairobi Securities Exchange All Share Index. But on aggregate, over 43 companies participated in the daily trading at the Nairobi Securities Exchange, ending the day with over 13 gainers and just 18 losers, with Uchumi Supermarket coming on top of the gainers list. Uchumi Supermarket appreciated to 0.23 Kenyan shillings with a value of 4.55% added to their stock price. Bamburi Cement, who has been silent for quite some time as well, appeared on the gainers list with over 2.93% gain. Centum Investments also gained over 2.88%, and Diamond Trust Bank about 2.83%. Those were the biggest movers on the Nairobi Securities Exchange. On the losing side, Standard Group came out with an end-of-day price depreciation of 9.14%, which was the worst performance for any stock on the Nairobi Securities Exchange on Monday. This was down to a price of 9.54 Kenyan shillings per share. And when you look at Flame Tree Group Holdings following suit at over 9.09% value lost on the Nairobi Securities Exchange as well. Olympia Capital Holdings also lost 7%, and the Nairobi Business Ventures Company lost over 4.86%. Safaricom continued to record the biggest volumes on the Nairobi Securities Exchange with over 1.93 traded shares on the first weekday of trading. Equity Group Holdings had over 1.6 million shares, and KCB Group over 481,600 shares, and Kenya Power and Lighting Company about 403,000 2,900 shares as well. Now, the performance of the Nairobi Securities Exchange All Share Index was, of course, hampered due to the day's trading being, of course, not as highly active as usual, with over 1.3 points lost on the index, and that was down to about 121.96 points. And overall year-to-date loss currently of over 4.32% is being registered on the All Share Index. The NSE 20 and the NSE 25, which are other remarkable indexes on the Nairobi Securities Exchange, also lost some value, with the NSE 20 shedding off over 0.03% and the NSE 25 shedding off over 0.61%. And that was the trading, my friend, from the Nairobi Securities Exchange. There, remember, to diversify your portfolio is always to your own advantage, and you can do that by opening up accounts in different stock exchanges and trading with different cross listings, thereby, of course, getting to reduce or avert some of the risk there. Regarding other places in Africa, the Johannesburg Stock Exchange lost significantly on their benchmark index, the J203, with over 43.3 points lost on there, and that was a 0.05% daily loss. And the Nigerian Stock Exchange as well lost some good amount of value, about 163.66 points on their All Share Index as well. And that's the trading, my friend, from some of the biggest stock exchanges here in Africa. Remember, the data is as per the trading yesterday, but the markets are open right now, and you can as well make your decision to start your journey of investment and diversify your portfolio if you are already in the business of trading on the stock markets here in Africa. Now, let's get to peep into the US stock market before we close, of course, so that I let you go and get you started on your day of trading and get to diversify your portfolio as well. Now, the United States Stock Exchange, or rather data from the New York Stock Exchange, shows a little mixed up, of course, of things here on their exchange here at the United States Stock Exchanges, with the biggest S&P 500, the NASDAQ, gaining some value in the mid-morning there and then losing it at the end of the day. But generally, the stocks performed better, especially the tech stocks, with Microsoft facing the EU antitrust warning over Activision deal. And when you look at the S&P 500, it gained over 0.4% to close at 3,999 points, and the Dow Jones Industrial Average gaining over 0.33% as well. Yet the Nasdaq also gained 0.71%. This is as per the mid-morning and midday tradings at the end of day trading there on Monday, and this was being the first day of the week here at the United States Stock Exchange. Thank you so much, my friend, for sparing time and watching the show. Remember, this station is pledging its support of business here in Uganda, and is here to give you support on the different investments you're making in business, and we are giving you updates as they happen and unfold in the business world. We give you 24/7 business, and we drive you into your future businesses here at the #1 business channel in East Africa. My name is Anthony Sebale. Remember to follow me on Twitter at Anthony Sebale, and follow Smart24 TV at Smart24 TV. And on YouTube, we are Smart24 TV Live. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you tomorrow, same time, same place. Bye for now.